The 2021 season was a disappointing one for the Minnesota Vikings as they finished with an 8-9 record and things just didn't go their way in tight games. As a result, Mike Zimmer was sent to the unemployment line and Kevin O'Connell was brought over from the Rams to run the show. So let's take a look at their futures odds for 2022 and I'll give you my favorite Minnesota Vikings bet for the season. First of all, if you're planning on placing a futures bet this season, make sure you're using the futures odds comparison tool over at VegasInsider.com. Okay, first up, to win the Super Bowl, you can get the Vikings at 40-1. To win the NFC, 20-1. To win the NFC North, plus 240. Over-under win total. There's some 9s out there, some 9.5s. If you like the over on the 9.5, you're going to get that at plus money, right around plus 105. So here's the thing with the Minnesota Vikings. I like the over on that win total. I like them at plus 240 to win the division. But my best bet for the Minnesota Vikings is for them to win the NFC at 20-1. Controversial pick, I know. But weird things happen in the NFL all the time. Who had the Bengals going to the Super Bowl last year? Plus, the NFC is wide open this year. I could see a situation where the Packers, Bucks, and Rams all regress. Take a look at the Packers. Aaron Rodgers made a gigantic mistake deciding to go back there instead of starting fresh with the team like the Broncos. It blew up in his face when Davante Adams left, and they did a pretty bad job of replacing him. You cannot replace him with the guys they brought on to that roster. Then you take a look at the Bucks. Major issues along that offensive line. That wide receiver group is going to be beat up all season. Then you take a look at the Rams. Maybe some red flags here. Take a look at Sean McVay. There were some question marks. Is he going to return? Is he going to retire, go into broadcasting? Maybe he's got one foot out the door. Meanwhile, people want to act as if Matthew Stafford had a perfect season. He was an interception throwing machine last season. So I think that the NFC is wide open and the Vikings weren't as bad as their 8-9 record indicated last season. A lot of close losses there. 5 losses by 4 points or fewer. And apparently a lot of dysfunction under Mike Zimmer. He lost the locker room. And they're bringing in Kevin O'Connell here, the offensive-minded coach from the Rams. And he's going to do a great job at coaching to this team's strength. It's passing. It's offense as a whole, where they should be one of the highest scoring teams in the NFL. A lot of talent. And there is some talent on the defensive side of the ball for the Vikings too. They really underachieved defensively last season, so they can only get better. And one of the big rebuttals for this pick will be, Joe, what about Kirk Cousins? Here's the thing with Kirk Cousins. He isn't the punching bag that people make him out to be. All you big mouths on Twitter and these broadcasters on the big networks, right? So I don't think he's worthy of the reputation we've bestowed upon him. He's coming off a pretty good season. He only threw 7 interceptions. Meanwhile, everyone loves Matthew Stafford. He threw 17. Better QB rating for our guy Kirk Cousins than Brady, Mahomes, Herbert, Josh Allen, just to name a few. So there you have it. Kirk Cousins always filling up the stat sheet here. Like I said, the NFC, I think it's wide open. I think the Vikings can have a great season, maybe get a couple home games in the playoffs, play in that controlled environment in that dome. So I like the Vikings. 20-1 to win the NFC. Let me know in the comments section what you think about this pick. Make sure you are subscribing to this channel, and I will have a best bet for every single NFL team leading off to kickoff of the 2022 season. Find it right here on the Vegas Insider YouTube page. Yeah.